Hi and welcome. My name is Skyla Ramirez, trainer with Yoga Fit Training Systems Worldwide. Thank you for joining me today for our session to address pelvic floor health. So in this next small class, we are addressing not only stabilization and centering concepts that would apply to the physical body, but also the various energetic and emotional concepts that could be addressed in cases of trauma, which could be affecting the energy of the pelvic floor or chakra 1, Muladhara. So in our session today, everything is done on the floor, and we're incorporating a yoga block into this session. We're using this as a muscle activation technique, not only encouraging specific neuromuscular connections to the pelvis, but also repaving energetic and neurological pathways that have the potential to regulate your fight and flight response, thus regulating various energies in the pelvis that would help with either a hypertonic or hypotonic pelvic floor. So let's get started. I also have a pillow here, and you're welcome to grab a pillow or a blanket to create as much comfort in this practice as possible. To begin, we'll be lying down on our backs. I have my yoga blocks right here next to me, so I don't have to strain or lean over too much to use them and incorporate them into the practice today. To lie down on our backs, we can first come to a seated position with the knees just over to the side and slowly walk the body down into a side lying position. So as we hold in this side lying position, we are going to work first on breathing just into the belly. So naturally, as we are breathing into the belly, we may notice at some point that the breath is rising up into our chest. And if your breath is rising up into your chest, we let it be. So we want to meet the body where it is as we are eventually shaping and molding the breath a little bit more down low in the body. As you inhale, fully breathe in and down into the belly first, and maybe the breath stays here, or we can build that breath up into your chest. Exhale, if the breath is in the chest, relax your chest first, then pull in the belly. Inhaling down into the belly, maybe letting that breath roll up into your chest. And then exhale, relax your chest, relax the belly and the low back. As we continue to methodically fill and empty the lungs in this way, let's refine the breath by inhaling in through the nose as much as possible. And exhale from your throat as if you're trying to fog a mirror. Relaxing the jaw. Inhaling in through the nose, exhale from the throat. Continue to exhale from the throat with the jaw relaxed as we work to balance or to center those energies in the pelvis, in the hips, and in the low back. All of these are connected. We are manipulating a cranial sacral energy. By manipulation of the jaw, there is a lot of potential to also manipulate and center your hips and your low back and pelvis. Now, when you're ready, go ahead and roll over onto your back, using the feet to ground the energies in the body. Let's take our yoga block. I'm using mine in the most narrow position, placing it between the knees and the thighs. So this is what it looks like if you were to look at it from a frontal view. Once we have that block positioned between the knees and thighs, we can hug the knees in just for a moment, holding on to the sides or back of the thighs. Lift the legs up, push through your heels, and point the toes a few times. Not only are we able to work a little bit of mobility in through the ankles before we move into any weight bearing, but we're also able to look at the distance between the knees and see that the distance between the ankles is the same as the distance between our knees. Let's push through our heels, keeping the same distance between the knees and the ankles and heels. Let's bend our knees and place the feet flat on the floor. To begin, let's match a contraction of the inner thigh and pelvis to our exhale. Hands can come onto the belly to monitor the breath. Exhale all the way first. The exhale is more important than the inhale. We want to get as much stagnant air or old breath out of the body, making space for prana, for that renewal of energy with the breath. When you're ready, inhale in through the nose, feeling a rise of the belly. And again, it may come up to your chest. Pause, squeeze your yoga block, and now exhale like you're fogging a mirror. Pause, release any tension in your knees and thighs. Inhale. Pause at the top of the breath. Squeeze into the block. Exhale with that ha sensation. Let's try 3 to 5 more like this. Relax the thighs on the inhale. Squeeze firmly on the exhale with your ha breath. Relax, inhale. Contract, exhale. You may be breathing faster or slower than my breath. Continue to tune into whatever rhythm is organic to your body. When you've reached that last exhale, pause for a moment. Let's take the block away from the knee and the thighs and place it just off to the side once more. On the next inhale, let's reach the arms up and overhead. Nice big breath. Exhale, draw your left knee in. Hold on to the sides or back of your left thigh and give a gentle tug in with the knee towards the chest. Let your left foot come down. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right knee in. Gentle tug, pointing the toe, maybe even lifting the hips, tilting the pelvis just a little bit. Let that leg come down. Let's repeat this a few more times. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, gentle tug. Maybe a little lift of the hip, tilting the pelvis. Foot comes down. Find the in-breath. Exhaling, gentle contraction, tilt of the pelvis. Relax, inhale, and contract, exhale. Let's balance this out on the left and the right. Meeting with both feet flat on the floor. Inhale, arms coming up and overhead. Let's lift the heels and draw both knees in one more time. From here, we're rocking the knees in and out from the chest, creating an active tilt in the pelvis, possibly releasing tension or stress that might be pent up in the low back, which could also lead to locking up the pelvis and the pelvic floor. Matching this to the breath, inhale, knees rock away. Exhale, knees coming in with that ha breath. Inhale, knees rock away. Exhale, ha breath. Let's try 2 or 3 more. Maybe 1 more. Inhaling, rocking away. Exhale, ha breath. When you're ready, let the feet come down to the floor. Take your arms out like a T with the palms down onto the floor. Let's walk our feet out wide on our mat. Exhale, let both knees sway over to the left, only with maybe half of your body's range of motion. Practicing moderation in this, Brahmacharya. Inhale, knees to center. Exhale, allowing both knees to sway over to the right. You could always look in the same direction of the flow or look in the opposite direction. I encourage you to go with whatever feels most comfortable at this time, paying more attention to the comfort in your neck than the rhythm of the knees swaying left and right. Inhaling, center. Exhale, knees to one side. And again, plenty of time to notice. Head in the direction of the knees, head in alignment with the sternum, or maybe looking in the opposite direction, giving ourselves a little bit of perspective and then deciding what feels right for your body today. Twisting on the exhale. As we twist, bringing out the spine, gently tugging on the muscles around the pelvis, the hips, and even the glutes, glute medius. Let's do a couple more to each side. At any time, we could always hold that pattern of a sway, or we could hold the twist either to the left or the right. Move when your body is craving movement, and be still when the body is craving stillness. Once we've evened this up on left and right, let's bring the knees to center, walk the feet in close, and bring the hands down beside the hips with the palms facing down. Let's move into a few gentle pelvic tilts. From here, as we inhale, pressing down into the feet, pulling the tailbone up off of our mat, and then exhale, gently lower and flatten through the tailbone. Inhale, lift, gentle tuck, maybe even pressing into the feet to hover the hips and buttocks off of the mat. Then exhale, lower down and flatten through the sacrum. Inhale, gentle tuck, maybe even a lift. Exhale, lowering down, neutralizing the low back. You're welcome to take your hands onto the lowest part of your ribs, and you'll notice that as we lift and lower the hips, there might be a shift of movement also in the rib cage. Inhale, pulling up through the tailbone, and then maybe lifting up. The ribs are going to sink in just a little bit. As we exhale, lower down. Press the tailbone and the sacrum flat, and your ribs might begin to lift or slightly protrude up. Relax your ribs. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, drop the hips. Allow the ribs and the chest to lift slightly. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Manipulating the energies in the belly, Uddiyana Bandha, the belly lock energy. We're focused on pelvic floor, Muladhara, chakra 1, and we will begin the manipulation of Muladhara, chakra 1 with Mula Bandha. This is going to also move up into your belly lock and into your throat lock. At any time, if you're noticing discomfort with these locks or with these contractions, simply return to the breath that we began our practice with, diaphragmatic breathing. From here, let's grab our yoga block and place it between the knees and thighs once more. Keeping the hands low on the belly, the chin is slightly tucked in. If we were in a seated position and we had an egg on our head, we lower the chin enough so that that egg would roll off of our head. That is the throat lock, or Jalandhara Bandha. Keeping the chin down in throat lock position. Inhale in through the nose, down into the belly. Pause, squeeze the yoga block and exhale all the way, then add in a pause. On the count of 3, we're acting surprised, actively pulling the navel down and up under the ribs rapidly to create a vacuum or a belly lock, Uddiyana Bandha. Let's try this together. Relax your thighs first. Inhale. Exhale all the way. Engage the thighs. Pause. 3, 2, 1, surprise. Holding that contraction of the belly down and in. Release the contraction. And now breathe easy, at least 3 easy breaths. A few other notes about Uddiyana Bandha. When we have employed the belly lock, we might feel pressure building up into the chest. We may even feel like the muscles are tightening or contracting towards the throat. You won't be able to talk, and you're not breathing. The vacuum is basically pulling up from the navel all the way to your heart and throat. And you might even notice that the ribs lift a little higher the longer you hold the belly lock. When we exhale, the breath rushes into the body. So we're coming out of that vacuum to a nice big inhale, being pulled in from the intrinsic muscles in the trunk of the body and the abdomen. Let's try this a few more times. Exhale all the way. One large inhale. Pause, squeeze your yoga block. Exhale all the way. Pause after the exhale. 3, 2, 1, surprise breath. Navel down, in and up. Release. And then natural breath. Inhale, exhale with ease. Absolutely no rush. Let's try this one more time. Inhale. Squeeze the block. Exhale all the way. Pause. 1, 2, 3. Belly in and up. Surprise. Holding 3, 2, 1. Release. Neutralizing the body with the breath. From here, let's take our block away from the knees and thighs. Place it off to the side. Letting the knees sway left and right again. Unloosening any energy that may have come up. It might be waiting to get unblocked from the pelvis. When you're ready, let your knees roll all the way over onto one side, and let's return to our side lying position for a moment. Practice breathing down into your low back, middle back, and upper back, allowing the breath to roll up and down the sides of the spine, massaging against the back of your lungs, your kidneys, and adrenal glands. Let's use our top arm down on the floor, slowly using this arm to prop up the spine. Keep the head hanging nice and loose. And let's come up into an easy seated position. From our easy seated position, we may want to elevate the hips onto a bolster, or we could use whatever prop we had supporting the neck and head underneath the hips and pelvis. I'm sitting near the edge of my prop so that it promotes more of an anterior tilt. This is what it looks like from a side view. If we sit flat on our prop, it could provide cushioning under the sits bones. However, it doesn't necessarily promote a neutral tilt in the pelvis. When we come to the edge of the prop, notice that we're able to push the hips back, and it'll create a little bit of a sway. So this little bit of a sway or arch in the low back is called an anterior tilt. And it's this anterior tilt that ultimately moves us more towards a neutral low back, and it also helps to open that energy in the pelvis that connects to the belly lock. Come into any comfortable seated position. Feet can be folded. Feet can be one leg forward, one leg back. You could even put your feet down flat on the floor and have the knees bent to create a little less tension in your low back. Once we've found our foundation, let's bring awareness to the breath once more. One hand on the belly and the other hand up on the chest. Left or right is not specific for this. Imagine you have an egg on top of your head and we're lowering the chin enough, allowing that egg to roll off. Exhale all the way. Exhale, more important than the inhale. Breathe in through the nose. Feel the breath dropping down the throat, behind the heart, into your belly, pushing the stomach muscles out, lifting through the chest. On the exhale, exhale as if you're going to whistle or blow out candles. Relax the chest, pull in the stomach muscles. Inhaling in through the nose, 3-part breath, breathing down into the belly, through the side ribs, and up to the heart, keeping the chin down. Exhale, blowing bubbles or blowing out candles. Relax the heart first, side ribs, belly, and the low back. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, up into your heart. Exhale, 3, 2, 1, softening the belly. Establish this rhythm in your body, having the option to close the eyes at any time. There's more to feel than there is to see. The feeling is ultimately the body's way of communicating with us. So maybe noticing what part of the body feels most open and receptive to receive the breath. Is it the belly? Is it the middle portion of the trunk, the ribs? Or maybe it's the chest. It could even be behind the heart. Taking note of what part of the body is most open to receive the breath. Letting go of any judgment with what sensations the body reveals to us. Working with the art of observation, letting go of any judgments, expectations, or competition, staying in the present moment. Let's allow the breath to rest low in the body, taking the hands down onto the tops of our knees, no matter where the foundation is. Hands are coming down onto the thighs or onto the tops of your knees. Let's shift forward. Elbows are bent, straightening the elbows just a little bit to prop up the ribs, to pull up the chest. Lift the chin just slightly and inhale into the center of your chest. Exhale, drop your chin. Pull the ribs back, straighten out the arms, and round the spine. This is a seated cat and cow flow, hinging from your belly, come forward. Inhale, drop the chin. Exhale, contracting through the navel. Inhaling forward, lifting the chin, opening the throat. Exhaling your ha breath. A few more like this, absolutely no rush. Giving the body plenty of time to adapt the movement to the breath. Tuning into all of those characteristics and qualities of the breath that are ultimately the foundation for the physical practice. Noticing the speed, noticing the volume, inhale, lift, and even noticing if we feel when we inhale that there is perhaps a clearer path through your left or right nostril. Let's go through one more seated cat and cow flow, hinging from your belly. Coming to our neutral position. From here, we can take our block into the practice again. And this time, let's bring our feet out, placing the block between the knees and the thighs in the most narrow position, looking to see that the ankles and the knees are the same distance apart. We'll slide our hands back past our hips, having the fingers facing our heels, pulling the elbows back so that there's a little bit of a lift in the chest. From here, let's keep the toes pointed as we lift our left leg. Inhale and exhale, lower. Inhale, lifting the right leg. Exhale, lower. Continue with this rhythm of alternating legs, lifting with every inhale, lowering on the exhale. The grip on our block is very casual. There's not a strong contraction at this time. Rather, we're giving the body an opportunity to interpret, digest any sensations, any felt sense that might come with the muscle activation technique, with that gentle grip on the block. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Try closing the eyes. Noticing any part of the body that could be speaking. What part of the body might be working the hardest? It could be the brain working the hardest to maintain the rhythm. It could be the body maintaining a natural breath even. Let's try one more on each side. Adding in that healthy contraction into the block. Inhale, float the left leg up. No hard grip on the block. Now squeeze the block and slowly lower the foot down. Relax. Inhale, right leg extension. Squeeze the block. Exhale, lower down. Relax. Inhale, extension. Squeeze. Slowly lower. Soften. Inhale, right leg extension. Squeeze. Slowly lower. One more on each side. Relax on the inhale. Loose grip on the block. Inhale, extension. Squeeze. And lower. Inhale, relax and lift. Squeeze. Exhale, lower. From here, take the block. Place it between your feet. Let's take our knees out to the side into a butterfly expression, pressing our feet into the block. Placing our hands on the insides of our knees. Press down with just the slightest bit of pressure. Counter that energy from the hands, Hasta Bandha. Counter that energy of a press down with the hands by pushing up into the hands with the insides of your knees. You might notice that there are sensations building from the knees to the inner thigh and into the pelvis. Take it a big breath. Release all tension from the hands and the knees. Let's continue to work with this technique, contracting with the inner thighs, using Hasta Bandha to ground the energy while we recruit those dynamic sensations in the pelvic floor. Inhaling, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, press and lift the knees into the hand with a ha breath. Release all pressure. Inhale. Press down, counter pressure. Option to close the eyes as we continue to work with this pattern of breath and dynamic tension. Inhaling. Dynamic tension, push down, counter the press with the knees, ha breath. Two more. Soft on the inhale. Dynamic on the exhale. This is our last one. Let's soften the whole body. Take the block off to the side. And again, establish some comfort in the foundation of your lower body. Allowing the pelvic floor and the thighs to soften and rest. Let's work again with the cranial sacral connection. Take the tip of your tongue and curl it up so that it is touching behind your two front teeth along the gum line. This is a technique known as Jigwa Bandha. By bringing the tongue up to that point just behind our two front teeth, hopefully this is a bandha or an acupressure point that is helping us to alleviate excessive tension in the jaw. And that tension in the jaw, the nerves that would regulate the tension and energies in the jaw, speak to the energies that go all the way down your spine, into the low back, around the hips, and into the pelvis. In theory, the more we relax the jaw, the more we can help to soften and relax the energy in your hips, pelvis, and low back. Another option here is to lower the palms of the hands, grounding the energy in the palms of the hands. Hasta Bandha feeds into that energy of Mula Bandha, which helps to ground us, alleviating a fight or flight response. Tongue up, just behind your two front teeth along the gum line. Inhale in through the nose, keeping the tongue in Jikwa Bandha position. Exhale from your throat with the bottom lip relaxed. Feel the breath moving up from your throat, through the sides of your mouth, around the tongue, through the pockets of your cheeks. Paying special attention to the very middle of your bottom lip, relaxing here. Curl the tongue up, Jikwa Bandha. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale from the throat. Chin is lowered down, Jalandhara Bandha engagement. One or two more like this. At some point, you may want to release the Jikwa Bandha engagement. Relax your tongue, simply allowing the tongue to rest in the mouth. Continue to part your lips just slightly, relaxing especially the very middle of your bottom lip. The lips may be parted just enough to set one of those red coffee stirring sticks in the mouth. Inhaling in through the nose. Again, noticing the movement of the breath down low into the body. Let it come up into your chest if that feels natural. Exhale, soften from the chest all the way down to your belly and your low back. Begin to count the breath, making the exhale longer than your inhale. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. The purpose of these longer exhales is to tap into the relaxation response of our nervous system. Notice when you exhale any response from the low back and pelvis. For the next 3 or 4 minutes, we're practicing a seated meditation to address that energy in the pelvic floor. You're welcome to close your eyes or gaze softly past the tops of the cheeks and past the nose, establishing your drishti, focal point. Palms can stay down or turn the palms up. Imagine that the breath is approaching from the earth. And as we inhale, we're breathing in, receiving the breath through the hips and low back. Inhale, allowing that breath to build from the belly, through the ribs, up to your heart. Exhale, long exhale, 4, 3, 2. The breath moves out from the chest, out from the belly, and out from the hips, returning to the earth. Inhaling, receiving the breath through the hips. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, breath rising up to the heart. Exhale, allowing the breath to slip away from the chest. 4, 3, from the belly and hips. 2, and 1. The energy returns to the earth. Let's try this a few more times. Receiving the breath through the hips, allow it to build all the way up into the chest, pausing just at the collarbones and at the throat. Then exhale, relax your chest, your ribs, your low back and tailbone. Sink into the earth with the breath. Inhale, breath building, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, letting go. As we continue to tune into the wave of the breath, slow down the exhale even more. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, open to receive the breath. Roll it up from the hips to the heart. Embrace the fullness of the breath, then let it go. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The breath releases from the hips and low back. One more. When you're ready, establish an effortless, authentic breath for your body. Pulling the elbows back. Let's inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Nice big breath in, seated with arms extended to the sky. And then exhale, sweep the arms back and around. Add in that heavy exhale as if you're going to fall the mirror. Inhale in through the nose. And exhale. Couple more. Last one. In closing, you're welcome to join me with the hands together at the heart. Anjali Mudra, our seal of physical reverence. Let's draw in a big breath together. Exhale, chanting the sound of Lum. Lum. 2 more like this. Big inhale. Lum. Lum. This is the bija or the seed sound, an energy that resonates through the pelvic floor, through Muladhara, through Mulabandha, to help center and regulate our sense of security and safety. I thank you so much for joining me today in our practice. Again, my name is Skyla Ramirez with Yoga Fit Training Systems. Namaste. Enjoy your beautiful day.